All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight with Sharon O'Neal, and she's going to be talking about a case involving her son, Mr. Devin Michael Sampson, in which she feels that he is definitely being charged wrongfully in a second degree homicide that happened in Bailey, North Carolina, about a month and a half ago. So I'm going to let you tell the audience, Miss O'Neal, what kind of happened that night and what has been going on since.
Okay. Okay. On the night of the 14th of last month, Devin had went out and was doing some tattoos, and he was on the way home and he hit a deer, and he come home and was trying to tell me about it because he thought he'd messed his car up. Well, me and my boyfriend Timmy were in here arguing, which it's certainly kind of over the last few months we started arguing more and more and more. Well, Devin's girlfriend come in, Selena, and she'd said, Devin wants to talk to you because he wanted me to go out and look at his car. So I went out and looked at his car, and me and him were just talking, and he was kind of upset because he just had his car for just a day. And I said, well, you know what, Devin, you can look at it in a good way. You at least should have a car. And he said, you know what, Mom, you're right. So I turned around and said, well, I'll see you when you come in, okay? And I come back in, and me and Timmy continue to argue and fight, but just on a short note to tell you, a drug problem has occurred over the last year, and it's bad, like heroin and meth mixed. It's kind of like a violent combination. So,
Who had the drug? Who had the drug problem?
Timmy,
Oh,
my boyfriend.
okay.
And it was kind of on the low. I never really told Devin. Devin was a recovering heroin addict. He'd been clean for 2 years. So when I was trying to struggle with Timmy doing it and trying to get him help and not tell Devin, which is a hard thing to do, because he just sees us arguing. He doesn't see, he didn't see like the other stuff, you know what I mean, that I was trying to kind of keep hidden from him because I didn't want him to fall back into those old habits. So when he comes in, and what I also started doing is I started recording everything because nobody would believe me. Because you're talking about a man that went from he was so kind and sweet to crazy and mean and hitting me and putting his hands on me to, you know what I mean, being an all the time thing when if he didn't have drugs or whatever the reason was. Well, that night we come in. We had been arguing over my Oculus, which is kind of.
You have been arguing about what?
My Oculus. He took my Oculus from me.
What is Oculus?
On my Oculus, it's like the virtual.
Oh, okay, the Oculus. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So he started getting where he would take things from me and take them from me, so it would just start an argument or to upset me. So when I was playing the Oculus before Devin pulled up, and I had it in the living room. Well, when I went out to talk to Devin, Timmy had went in the living room and taken it. Well, he broke the last two. So I was like, when I walked back in from looking at Devin's car, he said, I said, can I have my Oculus back? Because I already knew where it was going. We were stemming into a huge argument again. And he said no. And he came in the room and he busted it. And I said, Jesus, Lord. And I walked out into the living room, and right when I was walking into the living room, Devin come in, and of course I was crying, and I wasn't expecting him to kind of walk in. And he walked in and kind of, like I was kind of throwing a fit, like, why'd you break my Oculus? And Devin walked in, and he said, what did we talk about, man, about you breaking my mama things and you putting your hands on my mama? That's all he said. And then I heard, blah, 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 and I heard him, like I could hear them fighting. And I ran in here, and I seen Timmy, like Devin was kind of not on his back, but he was trying to flip over. He had grabbed him by his dreads, and he was it kind of looked like he was getting the best of him, really, I mean, honestly. And I ran in, and I was like, get your hands off of him, and I grabbed him by the hair, and I said, get your hands off him, and we kind of tussled for a minute, and he let go of Devin, and he ran out of the room. And Timmy, he sat on the bed, and I looked at him, and we had a minute conversation. I'm like, what are you thinking? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, why would you ever put your hands on my kid? And next thing you know, he stands up, and he's like, ow. And he goes, I think I've been stabbed. And I'm like, what? And there was no blood and nothing. And then all of a sudden, he gets up and starts panicking. And I look, and it's everywhere. I mean, the blood just starts going everywhere, and we make it to the living room, and Devin's girlfriend, my son's girlfriend, was on probation, and she wasn't supposed to be out here. So she's like, "Oh my God!" She's panicking, and I'm screaming, "Devin, call 911! Devin, call 911!" And at this time, we had walked from my room into the living room, and Devin runs into the kitchen and said, "What, Mom? What, Mom?" And I said, "Call 911! Call 911!" Well, his girlfriend wants to leave. She's like, "I can't be here. I can't be here. I can't be here." So she goes out the side door and leaves, okay? And Devin calls 911, and I was sitting here, and I kind of, Timmy fell, and I ended up holding him. It didn't take long I know it sounds so bad, it didn't take long for the incident to occur. Okay, maybe, I don't even know how long, but he ended up bleeding to death on the floor, and I was holding him. But Devin, he did everything he could. He called 911. He did CPR. He did everything like they said. And when they came, it took them 7 minutes to get here. When we usually have an argument, it takes them 1. I was kind of panicking, but Devin, he kept it together. He did good, but he was just hysterical. Like, he was crying. And when the paramedics finally came in, they were sitting there. They were walking up, and they kind of like, the police were like, "Where's the guy that did it?" or whatever. You know. And I was like, "No, that's my son. He didn't do it. He didn't mean it like that." You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if Devin did it. Devin says he doesn't remember doing it. I said, "Okay." I go with it. You know what I mean? That's my kid. I understand. And at this point, I really don't even understand what's going on. Like, I'm just like, everything happened in like a matter of 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And you're just like, it's the hardest thing you'll ever understand, to know what it's like for a mother to have to choose from someone she loves. I'm holding Timmy, to my son looking at me like crying, like, what am I doing? What's going on? What's going on? And I looked at him and said, "Don't worry. The police are coming. It's going to be okay, kid. You didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong. Things happen." You know what I mean? And so his girlfriend's already gone or whatever, but the police take me and Devin out, and then we sit outside. We sit outside in the yard for about 3 hours, and everything was fine. The police came in, but I seen them put the yellow tape up about 5 minutes after they got here, and I kind of knew it had happened. So I think I was still more in shock, and so was Devin. So they take us down into the interrogation or whatever in Nash County, and these officers were so unpleasant. They kept telling me, "You talk about you haven't had any sleep. I'm tired." It happened about like 10 o'clock. You're talking about like 3, 4, 5 in the morning. It's like they're telling you what to, it's like, so this is what happened. No, that's not what happened. And they asked you like 500 different ways, and they just start getting irritated with you and start yelling at you. And I was honest and said that his girlfriend was here. Devin was not, okay? Because that's what they agreed on. Or that's what she was that worried about getting, 90 days of jail. So he didn't say she was here. So probably about 4 or 5 hours into this interview, I guess I don't know, one of the captains or whatever in the criminal homicide division comes in and goes, "You know what? I just don't like your kid. You know what? He's a gang member. He's lying, and I'm charging him with murder." And when he said that, I just flipped. I was like, "What in that? What are you talking about? What did he do?" Murder is when you run in and kill somebody. He didn't do that. I mean, he was defending me. He was in fear for my life. When someone's got their arm around your neck and you're, you know what I mean? You gotta kind of give it to him. I mean, thank God for saving me. But man, it could have went different. Yeah, but he's a good kid. You know what I mean? I didn't even see it. I didn't see it. He says he doesn't remember. I honestly don't know. The girlfriend left. It took her, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It took her like 7 days before they finally got up with her and talked to her. And now they're deciding they're going to charge him with, I think they're going to try to, go to Superior Court and charge him with murder 1. Like, he premeditated it because he was tired of me getting abused. Like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. So then he goes to I'm there at his bond hearing, or his first court his first court date. The judge finally gives him a bond because he was on no bond. So they give him a $250,000 bond, and I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to get my house stuff ready. I'm going to try to put my house up and get him out. And we come back, he had another bond here. I said, let me see if we can get one more bond hearing, Devin, so I can get just a little bit lower. They give him $1 million. They said in the paperwork more in front of him and everything, there was nothing that they could do, and they upped his bond from $250,000 to $1 million. Then he finally gets a court-appointed attorney, and this man, what was his name? It was Henry needs. Okay, he's helping him. He's not helping him at all. He tells him, he goes in front of the judge, and the judge goes, well, this is on his second bond hearing. He goes, well, the judge goes, well, he's got a $250,000 bond here, and the lawyer says, no, we're not worried about that. We were going to go for $500,000, and the DA says, well, we'd like to just hold him. And he goes, we're fine where it's at. We're going to leave it where it's at. And I'm like, I don't get, how did that even happen? How did you just completely ignore what the first judge said and just stick to $1 million, and then we're just going to keep him there because the detective showed up that was there. He made it very plain to me he didn't like my son. He didn't like the way he looked. He never read us a right, nothing. I mean, it was just the way they treated us was awful. I mean, just awful. And in the end, it was like, I don't know, I almost felt like I was having a nervous breakdown because the reality hadn't set in to really what had happened yet until they put my kid in handcuffs. And it was like, I don't understand how they can arrest somebody for trying to protect me. I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? No son is supposed to watch your mom get beat. And yes, I feel like I put my son in that position, but he's a good kid and he doesn't deserve what they're doing to him. I mean, I don't know how much trouble we can get him for this, but from what they're saying, they're going to try to fry him. That was the detective's words.
They going to try to what?
They're going to try to fry him. Like he's, you know what I mean? Like he's done. I mean, I've never been treated so bad. I've never been talked to like that. They just have no care in the world. In the last court date, the detective came in and sat with Timmy Sad and his daughter. And nobody feels worse for them than me. I could only imagine the pain they're going through. You know what I mean? But it's like to intimidate them and have the detective walk out and act like Devin's going to run over and try to kill them. It would just trip me out. The role they're playing is just retarded. Like Devin doesn't have a violent past. He has a job. He's in school. Just bought his first car. He's proud. He's finally been clean for 2 years, and he's doing good. And look what happens. He comes with his mom. And he helped, he's so worried about me being okay that now the rest of his life is gone. I mean, so it's like,
So when is his next court date?
He doesn't have one.
And he's in Rocky Mount County, or where's he at?
He's in Nash County Jail in Rocky Mount. Yes.
Okay. Now, did he ever tell the police, or did the girlfriend ever say that she was there? Did they ever let her know, like after you said that they caught up with her?
She said they caught up. She went down there and talked to him, and I guess told him what she saw or what had happened. And they told me that I was lying for him and that she was lying for him. I'm his mother, and that's his girlfriend, so we're all lying for him. I said, okay. If I was lying for him, I wouldn't have told him to stay here. Don't run. Everything's okay. You know what I mean? You didn't do anything wrong. Calm down. Let's help me out. He did more than I did. I couldn't even do it. I was panicking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was administering CPR like they were asking him to do when they walked in. If he was such a bad person, why would he call 911? I just don't get it. And then the stories they were telling us in the interrogation room, they just kept lying. They kept saying Devin stabbed him in the back. I'm like, I know that's not true. I walked in. I know what I saw. That's not what I saw. You know what I mean? And then they'd switch it. Well, there were 2 knives on the floor. But I don't know what I'm like, and then I told him, I don't know what you're talking about, where you're getting this shit from, but it's not what happened. And they just ended up just getting mad and talking crap and treating us like crap. I mean, they literally made me I had to take my clothes off and give it to him, go home in an orange and white outfit, which I didn't mind it, John. I don't mind. I didn't want to, keep the investigation, whatever they got to do. But it's the way they did it. They basically told me that if I didn't do it, that they were going to charge me with the drugs they found on him.
Oh, so they found drugs on him?
Yeah, they found heroin on him in his pocket. And they told me that they were that legally, since it was in my vicinity, that they can charge me with it because they didn't know it could be mine or his. And then when they left, this is the kicker. When they dropped me off at I don't even know what time it was. They left the body bag and everything on the floor. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that'll scar you in itself, what they do, because the directions were right on it, right on the floor. I mean, so just everyone threw their gloves all over the house. I mean, they made a big mess and they left it there for me. And I already traumatized enough. My son's gone. Timmy's gone. I had to come home, clean everything up. I mean, it was just awful. I mean, it was awful.
So what's...
Nor did they...
So what is the next step for you?
I do not... I'm at a point where I don't know what to do because Devin, he's only 25 years old. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he just... It's like I'm so proud of him, and it's like he's just gotten to a spot where he's going to school, he's got a job, he's becoming a man. You know what I mean? Like, and now he's at a point where he doesn't even have a court date. They won't even help him. And it's like talking to these people. It's like they're like, "Don't worry about it. We're going to try to nail it to him." And that's all it is. They don't want to hear me. I've tried to talk to his lawyer. I tried to talk to the judge last time. Nobody would listen to me. I mean, nobody. I wasn't inappropriate. I wasn't rude. I wasn't emotional. I just wanted to be heard. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go in there and just make it look like he murdered somebody when that's not the case. First of all, you haven't even figured out what happened. You're just not listening. But we can have you come in here and say that Devin did this, and everyone just believes him. Everyone's bashing him. They don't know the truth. They don't know what happened. And what kid wouldn't help their mother that was getting choked? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like.
So you were getting choked, or he did it when you were getting choked, or after you were getting choked?
He was to me. Okay, I just didn't know if I could talk about it honestly.
Yeah.
Devin was, when he walked in, we were fighting, and he, to me, had a bad thing about putting his hands around my neck. He's done it once. Several. We've had a lot of friends that run into him that have come over, and he's done it. He actually just started, but he always used to hide it before. But he got to where the last few months he just didn't care. He hit me in front of anybody. He dragged me to the house in front of anybody. And that night he had his hands around my throat. Not his hands, his arm. It was like he had his arm and like he had me in a chokehold. And when Devin walked by, he seen it.
Okay, so and then that's when they started fighting. Did they go into the next room, or because you said you didn't see it?
No.
So
It never left the bedroom. They started. Timmy let go of me and ran at Devin. I kind of went out of the bed. I went out of the bedroom, and his girlfriend was right there. And I just kind of sat there for a minute. I was trying to catch my breath, is what I was doing. So it's kind of like kneeled over a little bit, and when I was done, when I catch it, I mean, it took me a few seconds. I mean, I don't know exactly how long it took, but yeah, it took me a few seconds. Once I kind of got my composure, when I could hear him and hear rumbling, I turned around and came back in. Like, I needed, get a handle on this. But when someone's taking your breath away, it's a whole different ballgame. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like your throat's been crushed. So I'm sitting there kind of trying to get air. And then when I turn around, that's when I noticed he had Devin by the hair, and Devin was like, he was kind of pulling him back, and it looked like he was trying to flip back around and trying to get his bearings back, and Timmy was like gritting his teeth. He just looked so angry, and I was just like, what can make you that angry at him? They've never gotten to it. They've gotten to two other kind of altercations before, not an altercation, the arguments. Like he said, he caught Devin. He caught him putting his hands on me, and he was like, "Man, just look, we got to talk about this. You can't be hitting my mom while I'm here." Okay, and said it like a grown into a man should say it. Like, just, it was not an argument, wasn't bad. He just wanted to he wanted to voice his opinion to him. And after that, they were fine. Everything went back normal. Like, there was no hostility, no nothing. And then it happened one more time, and then this one. So this one, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's a mixture of drugs, but when he would mix in drugs or whatever, like, he would get so irate, he'd get this screech in his voice that I actually started recording him. So for the last few months, I had recorded a lot of the stuff he did, and the police took my phone. So I don't know if I'm going to get to help him with that, or I'm not going to get. They won't. When I was walking out of the interrogation room, the detective jerked the phone out of my hand and said, "Thank you very much for that," and kept my phone.
So did you try to get it back? Have you gotten it back yet?
No, they have not given me. No, they haven't even talked about it. But I'll tell you what is weird: that somebody keeps going and logging on my son's phone and mine on our Facebooks. I mean, I don't know who's doing it, but my kid's in jail. And saying things like, "Oh, I'm with the cops right now." I mean, just it's weird. I don't even know if they can do that, or if it's somebody else doing it, or But if they give us our phone back, or give me the phones back, I could. I mean, when they dropped me off, I had no phone. They took the house. They took all the laptops in the house. They took everything. I had nothing. I couldn't even make a phone call. It was a way they took it from me. They just he let me think I was going to walk out, and they just jerked my phone from me.
Well, what?
I mean, it's like,
did you tell the courts that when you went to court? Like, did you go down to the court and ask them? Because your phone don't have anything to do with the investigation.
That's what I thought, and that's not what they're telling me. They said they can do whatever they want, and that's when the cop told me if I keep making too big of a ruckus, he was going to charge me with drugs. I said, and that's what I said. It gets me that people, y'all police officers, are allowed to lie and be corrupt and make stuff up and do whatever you want to ruin someone's life. But if I was to do that, I'm a criminal. I'm a piece of crap. Right? If I was to do what they did to me, they put me in jail, throw away the key. But they can do it. What makes them any better than the person they're charging if they do it? I mean, to get a conviction at any rate doesn't make any sense to me, because I really honestly thought it's going to be okay. I believed in our justice system. I do not no more. I tell you what, these people are not, they won't talk to me, they won't help me. I mean, they've taken everything I have, they don't care. They come here to treat me like crap. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot. I mean, I tried to talk to the judge about my phone. I tried to talk to him, and they just told me to sit down and be quiet. I mean, only so much, like, being respectful you can be. I mean, I was just trying to get the judge's attention, trying to get the DA's attention. They didn't want to hear anything I've had to say the last 3 court days. Nothing. I even got 26 letters on Devin's behalf for the judge to read before he tried to give him bond. So I made a decision about his bond on character witnesses for Devin. They wouldn't even read it. They wouldn't even acknowledge me.
And they didn't give a bond reduction from the $1 million bond.
No, they gave him one on his first appearance. The judge did. They gave him a $250,000 bond, because at first it was no bond. Then he got one a few days later. The judge gave him a $250,000 bond. But then he got a lawyer, and I said, "Look, can we try to get that reduced just a little bit so I can get him out? I can use my property." He said, "Okay." Well, the judge, I never talked to this lawyer, because he wouldn't talk to me. And he's always busy. He kept saying, "Just make an appointment." And the appointment, the court date was about a week. It was a week away from the one that he had. So it was like, I don't know, it was on a Thursday was his court date. It was next Thursday he had another court date. And when we went that Thursday, that judge said, "Well, there's no information on this case in front of me, so I'm going to have to deal with this case like I'm dealing with it for the first time." And he said, "I'm going to set his bond at $1 million." And I'm like, that makes no sense to me. How did you not have it in front of you? And then when we went back, his lawyer makes him a court date for the bond reduction. He tells him, the judge says, "I see it right here in front of me. What is this $250,000 bond?" And the DA speaks up, and Devin's lawyer speaks up, and they just agree to keep it the way it is. And that makes no sense to me. How do you get a bond and they take the bond back, because they're saying the DA was not ready or didn't have any information on the case? Why is that Devin's fault? I mean, and his court is still in regular court. It's not even in superior court yet. So I guess I don't know if he has to wait it out. They're not telling me anything. They won't. Just nothing. His lawyer won't even tell me anything.
They're probably going to reduce the bond, later on, since it just happened a month ago. They normally wait about 2 or 3 months, even, maybe even 6 months to a year. I'm pretty sure they won't keep it at $1 million, considering the circumstances, and Only thing you have to do is pretty much just keep in touch with this is lawyer. Make sure that you kind of pester them. You be bothersome to them. So because a lot of those court appointed lawyers, they kind of work for the court. It's not the best interest of.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like he was talking to the DA and he was okay with whatever they wanted. And the first thing he said to me, his lawyer said, "But I don't really think I have time for this." I'm like, "Well, like I told him the last case, I said, look, I'm the only voice my son has. I know what happened. I know my son didn't just come in and do what they're saying he did, and I know it. So I'm gonna be there. I have something to say, and someone's gonna listen to me." And that's what I told his lawyer. I said, "I'm telling you, I'm not playing. I'm gonna drive you nuts."
Yeah, you definitely.
And
Go ahead.
I finally got him. I finally got him to give me an appointment for tomorrow.
Okay. And what time is that appointment?
3:30.
Okay. Well, yeah. So unfortunately, the situation is, and it's in you said Edgecombe County, Nass County. So yeah, it's unfortunate that police will kind of say things like that, or I don't like your son, so we're charging them without listening to all the facts. So hopefully someone will hear this story. If y'all want to get in contact with Miss O'Neal, you can call me direct 919-587-7782 and try to help her kind of get some justice. We know in these towns like Goldsboro and Rocky Mount, the police sometimes can do what they want without due process, or without even considering all the facts. If they want to charge you, they charge you. If you're someone who is related to a judge, or you're related to a prosecutor, then you may get better treatment. But here we see apparently that Mr. Sampson was literally protecting his mother, got in a fight with his mother's boyfriend, and in turn stabbed him in the middle of that fight in an attempt to protect his mother. So definitely not it's definitely not something that's cut and dry, but considering the circumstances, hopefully someone would kind of shed some light on this incident and help this mother get some assistance and justice with possibly countering some tactics. Because if you look at Mr. Sampson, I'm going to put his picture on the thumbnail, so you'll see the picture and you'll see how he looks with the tattoos and the dreadlocks, which sometimes, even though you may be a good person, but when you walk into the court and the police see you like that, then they automatically assume that you're a criminal, or you did what you're accused of doing, or even you did what you did in malice. So I know you as a mother know your son, and know that he's definitely probably a good kid, but because of the way sometimes he looks, people can judge him on that manner. So I definitely understand that. So
can I throw one more thing out there? I just wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Also, everybody, Timmy's family's come here and stole everything out of my yard. They even stole a motorcycle from inside my house. And when I called to report it, they basically told me there was nothing they were going to do about it. That they weren't even going to make a report, that it's probably going to be a civil matter for me. And that when was I going to leave this house? I mean, that's what the police officer said to me. Like, I'm just going to tell you, that's probably a civil matter. I'm like, so breaking into my house, stealing a motorcycle out the back door, that's not a crime? I mean, they have not helped me. They have done nothing. And when I tell you, they've stole everything from here, down to the lawnmower. It's been taken from here. So when it gets back... Okay.
Now, you saying that they took that from your house and trying to say it's his property or something like that?
Yes, and like they told him, we've been together a while. it's communicable property, me and Timmy's no longer here. So that means it's mine. And that's not the issue. I don't have a problem giving whatever to whoever that wanted something that was Timmy's, because I'm not like that. But there's a right and a wrong way to do it. To break into my house and to take it is not a right way. And then to say, I don't know where it's at, like I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they call me and tell me they took it, and it's like they're torturing me. I mean, I don't understand. And the police won't help at all. They won't help me at all. I'm not a victim. They are. And it's just really sad the way the Nass County Police Department has acted and treated me and my son.
Do you know any names of the detectives or the officers?
No, I don't. I really don't. Okay. I mean, I've tried to call up there and talk to them, and nobody helps me. I've called up there twice. And then I called and made a report, have them come out here to report the property missing, and the officer, I mean, he was just like, I'm just going to tell you, I even showed him my phone where one of the, like Timmy's, his ex-wife was telling me she took it, and there was nothing I could do about it. And the officer said, I'm just telling you, I think this is going to be civil. And then asked me when I was moving out. And walked off. When I told him, I said, I'm not moving out. I don't have any plans of moving out. Not yet. I mean, I got to get my stuff in order. I mean, it's just it's like, okay, y'all just get out. I mean, it's a hard thing that we're already going through. Now my son's in jail, and now, I mean, I barely have the money to do anything because everything's stolen, or I can't work because the cars got taken. It's just something. I mean, they literally stole the car out of the yard. My truck was missing. I mean, and when I tell you no help, they've helped me not one time have they come here. I made a report. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? It's a civil matter. I mean, when did that become a civil matter?
I'm not sure about that, but is there anything else that you want to share, Miss O'Neal, before we or anything you want to tell the audience?
I just wanted to let everyone know that Devin did not just hurt somebody. He was protecting me. He's a good kid. Don't judge him by his appearance. Just, you know what I mean? Like, you got to see through that, because he's not a bad kid, and he's rehabilitated himself to where he went to prison, and he did a year and a half for any wrongdoing he's done. This is years ago, and came out and has really kind of changed his life, and it shocked me more than anyone. And for 2 years, he's done really good, and I'm proud of him. And I'm actually, a week before any of this happened, I texted him and told him how proud I was of him, and how he's really changed himself, and his name was everything, and he's trying hard to become a better man, and he has been. So before everyone judges him, at least know he was helping his own.
As well as he should have, and I'm gonna stay in contact with you, and you stay in contact with me. Make sure you call me and let me know. If I could make it to that meeting, I would, but I have a prior engagement tomorrow. But we'll definitely be right here by your side and see if we can help you in any way possible. But I thank y'all for tuning in. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or want to reach out to Miss O'Neal, you can call me at 919-587-7782, and share this video to anybody you think that may be able to help or shed light on this situation, because as a son, I've never been put in that situation, but I definitely understand if somebody was harming my mother, I would definitely want to defend them, with any means necessary. So I thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to keep you up to date on this story and more. Peace and blessings.